Hello gamers and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look back at a game that's very important to not only the landscape of Dragon Ball Z games today, but a game that is very important to my childhood, and that is none other than Dragon Ball Z Budokai on the PlayStation 2. If you guys are new to the channel, please do me a favor, smash the thumbs up button and subscribe. Help build up the channel. Can only do that with your support. So without further ado, let's jump into Dragon Ball Z Budokai on the PlayStation 2. Now, fun fact, this is actually my original copy of the game that I got on Christmas back in 2002. I still remember the day that I got this game. This game is really important for me for a number of different reasons. One, this is the last game that my parents ever bought me for Christmas. This game came out in 2002, and it was the final year that I was going to be living with my family. I was a senior in high school, and I was getting ready to move out on my own. And I remember seeing the game just being advertised all over the place. And what a lot of people don't realize is that this is a very important game to the history of Dragon Ball Z games. When you look at the landscape now, there are tons of Dragon Ball Z games. We're getting ready to get the new Budokai Tenkaichi 4 here, hopefully within the next year or two. But up until that point, there wasn't a whole lot of Dragon Ball Z games released in North America. They were mostly all over in Japan. Other than Legacy of Goku, there really wasn't anything else. There started being a little bit more Dragon Ball Z games released on Game Boy Advance, like Legacy of Goku. I remember picking that up and super excited. It wasn't the best game in the world by any means, but I did spend a lot of hours playing it because that's all we had at that time. A lot of people think that Final Bout and Ultimate Battle 22 came out before Budokai because it's released on the PlayStation 1, but that's not entirely true. These games were released over in Japan. You can play them in North America if you were able to like mod your PlayStation or have burned copies or something, but these games were actually released after Budokai. It wasn't until after the game was successful that they started going back into their back catalog and started releasing some of their older games. So Ultimate Battle 22 and Final Bout was released after, despite them being PS1 games and not PS2 games, which is kind of backwards when you think about it. But I remember going into a Walmart and seeing these, and I picked them up right away because I remember going over a friend's house and he had the bootleg copies of Final Bout, and I remember just playing that all the time, even though again, that game wasn't the best. So actually, Dragon Ball Z Budokai was the first big release over in North America. I remember seeing the commercials and the trailer, and I ran up to my parents. I'm like, hey, if you're gonna give me anything for Christmas, pick me up Dragon Ball Z Budokai. Like as a Dragon Ball Z fan, we were dying for video games. We were dying for content. Unless you had emulators and ROMs or bootlegs, you weren't able to play anything unless it was just like Legacy of Goku on the Game Boy Advance. So to get a 3D fighting game on the current platform, which was the PlayStation 2 at the time, was something very exciting. I remember just me and my friends were so excited about this game, and all of us picked up a copy of this game. Every one of us picked up a copy of Budokai, and I remember we skipped school a lot. And we used to go over to our friend's house. Each of us would have our own memory card, and we would all have our own custom profile and play against each other because we were able to like buy capsules and really kind of put the different movesets. So my Goku would be different than my friend's Goku, and depending on how much you play the game, you would be able to really customize your character very well, have like super powerful moves, sensu beans, all kinds of awesome stuff. So it was really a game for the fans that we haven't experienced in North America. Now we just take everything for granted, but Budokai was the game to really kind of start that trend. It was the first big game. The showdown of legendary proportions. It was so awesome to get a 3D Dragon Ball Z game back on that time period, because it was just crazy. Because GT Final Bout, if you were able to play it, it just was not good, you know. But man, I remember just opening this game up and just playing it all day on Christmas, and it even came with a poster. Look, I still got my poster. Oh my god, I still have my poster for this game. That is crazy. And it has, like, look at that, it has all the characters listed in the back, like all the different characters in the game and like their move sets and stuff like that. That's awesome. I haven't opened this up in forever. And you see where I used to hang it up because I have like the tack in each corners, which is crazy. But man, this game brings back a lot of memories to that Christmas and how much I played it. And I love the game so much. And look, the manuals in full color. It's crazy because we don't get stuff like this today, right? Like we don't get manuals, so it's really cool just to kind of go back and look at the past of these things and see the history of the games, where they came from. It's just really awesome to look at. And there were so many cool modes with this game, because you can go into the story mode, which was fantastic because the story mode was laid out just like the show. So it would be broken up in different chapters. You would have narration over it, voice acting. They would reenact cutscenes with the new 3D models for the game. And it felt like playing the show. What was also great about the game was after you finished the first playthrough, you can go back and you can play bonus chapters using different characters to fill out the story. I just got done replaying through this game, and I have to tell you, like, my blood pressure really went up because I really don't remember that game being that difficult, but I fired it up and I played through the story, and man, it was really giving me a hard time. Frieza and Cell was really giving me a hard time. Jesus.
Don't like fighting, you know.
I'm not even getting close to beating him.
I don't like fighting, you know.
No, you son of a bitch!
I don't like.
Oh my god, bro. Gotta yourself, man. The one thing I really liked about the game was it had constant replay factor. Like I said, you beat the game, you go back, you unlock bonus chapters, but when you play through those bonus chapters, you unlock new characters, new skills for those characters. Today, all these games have DLC. You want extra characters, you have to buy the DLC, buy the season pass, do all that stuff. But with this game, when you beat the game, you go back and replay the game, you unlock chapters. That's how you unlock your characters. And then some of the skills, you have to go into the capsule shop and buy the skills. And in order to earn money, you have to play the world tournament mode, and then you compete and you win, and then you earn the money in order to buy the capsules that you're looking for. And the Dragon Balls are sometimes hidden in the capsules. You get the Dragon Balls, you can wish for special things. There was really a lot of stuff to do in this game back then, and it kept you busy for a while. You just didn't have that couch co-op 1 versus 1 mode, although that was there. You had your dueling mode, you had your practice mode, but what was really great about this was we were competing with all of our friends in order to see who would be able to unlock all the characters, who would get all the special features, who would have the best character custom set. That was important because I remember I really decked out Frieza because I really wanted to get Frieza's spaceship to where if Frieza gets KO'd, he comes back in his mech form and he's got full health again. And I remember that was something that I was really grinding hard to get. So I would constantly play through World Tournament mode in order to go back to get the Zenny to buy the Frieza spaceship capsule. So that was really awesome. The fact that it made you want to keep playing because you wanted to unlock more characters, you wanted to unlock more skills, and it was such a great experience at that time. Something I feel like video games are really missing today. Look out for Dragon Ball GT coming in 2003. Dragon Ball Super Android 13 available on VHS and DVD February 4th, 2003. I actually bought this on DVD. I think I bought it on VHS too. I'm not the biggest fan of this movie. I think it's okay. I'm not a big fan on the Dragon Ball movies in general because they're not really canon, but I remember enjoying this movie because I really like the Android saga. It's just really cool sometimes to go back and experience some of the games that set the foundation to the games that we have today. I don't think Dragon Ball Z Budokai is one of the best Dragon Ball Z games, but I think it's one of the most underrated ones, because if it wasn't for the success of Budokai, we wouldn't have gotten the Tenkaichi series, we wouldn't have the mountains of games that we have today. It really relied on that game being successful in North America, because anime was a very niche thing back then. That's hard to believe now because everybody and their mother watches anime, but you were a very select minority of people that watched anime in middle school and high school back in the early 2000s. It was a huge gamble, and if this game was not that successful, who knows where we would be, because we would not have gotten sequels, we probably would not have gotten re-releases, and we sure as heck would not be having the games that we've had today. Another thing that's really cool is a few years later on the Xbox 360 and PS3, they actually did a HD remake of this game and the third game in the Budokai HD collection, which I own on 360. Now, they didn't put the second game on here, mostly because the second game a lot of people really do not like because of the whole board game and everything like that, but I do have the HD collection. But I wanted to play for this video the actual PS2 version, mostly because they actually went and censored out a lot of stuff in this version, where they kept this one with all the gore and all that stuff. So this is the uncensored version, this is the censored version. Although I will say, if you're going to pick one up, I definitely say pick up this one. Budokai 3 is actually a phenomenal game as well. Another one I think that gets overlooked because of Tenkaichi 3, but I really enjoyed this collection. But I wanted to play through this just because I wanted to re-experience the joy I felt when I first got that game on Christmas back in 2002, and I just had a blast going back and replaying this game and just talking about this game and sharing my experiences with you guys. And I am very much looking forward to the future of Dragon Ball Z games. I cannot wait for the new Budokai Tenkaichi 4 coming out. It is definitely a game that's on my most anticipated list, and I'm excited for it. But I want to know what you guys think. How do you guys feel about Dragon Ball Z Budokai? Did you pick it up when it was first released? Maybe you never experienced it. Maybe you played it through the HD collection. Be sure to leave your comments in the comment box below. Please, once again, smash that like and subscribe button. And until next time, as always, I am Robert Storms, and thank you for watching.